walks around without being shady. Who knows her values, who's gone through trials. Her smiles are captured from mouth to mouth. It's not the size of her thighs she worries about, but the pride she thrives to keep that drive. That cinnamon twist. That cinnamon twist. That cinnamon twist. Ladies, can you feel me? That cinnamon twist. That cinnamon twist. That cinnamon twist. Ladies, can you hear me?
What's up, what's up, what's up? It is your girl Tasha, known to the world as Latasha Carpenter, but everybody calls me your girl Tasha because when you hang with me, it's like you are hanging with your girl. And today, guys, we got the school board from Prince George's County candidates in the house here. Women first, please introduce yourself and tell them where you are running for and what area you cover.
I am Belinda Queen. I am running for school board in District 6. I will cover the area coming from Sheriff Road all the way over to Ritchie Road, from Marlboro Pike down to Watkins Park, and a little bit of 450. But I always tell everybody I will represent the whole Prince George's County because I need you guys to know that when you vote for school board, it doesn't matter what district a person is in. You need to vote for a candidate that's going to vote for you as a whole. So I will be representing Prince George's County. I may be elected in District 6, but my concerns will be for the whole Prince George's County as a whole.
All right. Good evening. My name is Don Massey, and I am running for school board member for District number 9. District 9 encompasses Upper Marlboro, Clinton, Accokeek, Brandywine, a little bit of Fort Washington. It starts around Pennsylvania Avenue, and it goes from Pennsylvania Avenue through all the way back up to Baldwin.
Remember that red camera?
It goes from Prince George's County, goes all the way from Upper Marlboro through Dayton, Eagle Harbor. It has Accokeek. It has Clinton, Fort Washington, Millwood area. So we're so happy to be able to represent that particular area.
So guys, before my show, we always have a training session, and I told them which camera to be looking at. But you know, some people just want to be difficult when they start. Red means hot.
Amen.
Red means hot. So if you want to look at the camera, you look at the red camera. Anyway, guys, let us know where you're coming from. Put a comment in the session here. Remember that if you want to call in, you can call in on 301-429-9247. We want to encourage you to share and invite because we need you here. So I thank both of you for joining the show here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
You know what? Kids are serious.
Yes, they are.
Okay, you can't play around with children, all right? I've had a lot of different candidates on here, and I think that because you guys are with the school board, I actually think that your positions are more important because you're dealing with the nurturing and development of our future.
You're absolutely right. And Tasha, let me start by saying, you know, the truth of the matter is that a lot of people say that. Although, again, just hearing you, I know you truly mean it. But we have state legislators that say children first. We have county executives that say children first. We have governors that say children first. But when it comes down to budgeting, when it comes down to priorities, when it comes down to development, when it comes down to school construction and those things, that if you look at the history of our legislators, our people that we have previously put in office, that you can say that they put more things or other things before they put the children.
Children are not first.
And that's, again, why I'm here and running for District 9.
And I beg a difference. I don't hear anybody saying kids first for me. In all honesty, that's why you see on my signs too long. We done put developers over everything. I realized that Prince George's County needed economic development, but even getting it developed and even with the new houses and all the business, what good is this going to do if people don't want to live here? If people don't want to educate their children in Prince George's County, how are we going to get the tax dollars? We're going to keep taxing the back of the people who've been living here forever, who's already paying high tax. It just doesn't make any sense. No, we really have to really mean it and put kids first. And for all of you who say, well, I don't have kids in school anymore, my kids are grown, or, it's just my grandkids, it doesn't doesn't matter. But guess what? Them same children that are in school, the ones who just graduated this year, who may be graduating from Bowie State or wherever college they may be graduating, and the ones who haven't graduated, could be some little kids that's going to school. They're going to be your next doctors, your next lawyers, your next teachers, your next preachers. They're going to be ones that's going to be working in the hospitals. They're going to be selling you stuff, and some of them will do your Social Security check. Some of them will be working at the nursing home if you need. So we got to realize they may be children now, but they won't be children forever. They will be our next leaders. They will be the next delegates, school board members, next politicians. So we need to be concerned that they get a quality education. And most of all, we need to be concerned that they don't live off the backs of their parents. That when they graduate from high school, whether they decide to go to trade school or college, that they're able to be independent thinkers. And the problem we have in Prince George's County now is we having to make it so that our children can be independent. Too many of them are moving back home. Too many of them are depending on parents and grandparents. Enough is enough. We got to make sure that our children can survive just like we did when I was growing up.
Correct. I totally agree.
So we got to recognize we have OT checking in. He said, he said you always get that sermon, that preacher sermon when people decide to come out for election time. That's the only time you hear that. And you got Sean Michael Wilson turning in. It says that he's here watching. Bill Massey has turned in. Derek Jones, welcome everybody to the show.
Thank you.
So I got a question for you guys. But you got one comment? I'll give you 1 minute.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I want to know from each one of you guys. I think you kind of touched on it a little bit, but personally, why are you running for the positions of Prince George's County Board of Education?
Okay. Well, listen, I was getting reared in Prince George's County School. I went to Avalon Elementary School, went to Francis Scott Key, went to Walker Mill Middle, went to Central High School, where I actually graduated in 1986. And I thank God for my experience in Prince George's County. I love growing up here. I thank God for the foundation that they actually put in front of me. Now I'm married. I have children that are in the school system. I've also pastored a church in the community. I've been in the church in the community since graduating from college prior to undergraduate. So I've been continuously in the community. And the reason I'm running is that the truth of the matter is that I am tired of seeing our children come out of school and not educated. Again, I thank God for my children. My son, who's graduating from college, he graduated honor roll. I got a daughter that's graduating from Oxon Hill this coming week. Woo, Oxon Hill. And again, she's honor society and got onto scholarships and things. But those, for the lack of better words, Sister Belinda, are the exceptions. That should not be. They should not be the exceptions. That should be the norm. We put $2 billion into our school system every year, but yet we get mediocre, we get nominal results. And instead of complaining, instead of preaching sermons about it, I know that I can add to the conversation. I know that I can bring some of the results. So therefore, I'm running to make a difference, bring results, and to make a world-class system, not just for my children, but for all the children. So that's why I'm running for District 9.
All right. Well, everybody know me, and whoever the comment about the preacher, it's the core, it's the heart in me. I'm running for school board because I was born and raised in Prince George's County, a graduate of Prince George's County Public Schools. I have 3 children of my own, 9 stepchildren, 11 foster guardianship that I raised in Prince George's County Public Schools. I have 13 grandchildren.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to have to let you
come back.
It's hanging with your girl, Tasha. Who do we have?
It's OT. What's going on?
Hey, OT, how are you? You have a question for our candidates?
Real quick, I would like to know, how do the panelists feel about the CEO not being elected by the people?
Okay, I can answer that question. This is Belinda. OT, you want me to answer the question? Can you hear me? So one of the biggest problems I have is I'm a strong community activist, been out in the community, and one of the things I find out, everybody who know me out in the community, I'm everywhere. I go to meetings, I go here, and I'm accountable. I was elected 4 years ago on the Democrat Central Committee. I'm accountable. I'm out there talking. I'm a part of my people. The problem I have is when people are not elected and they are appointed or selected, they're not accountable. You don't come out. You're really not listening to people. And I can tell you one of the things I know for a fact. I know people who was on the CEO accountable board as far as parents and community leaders. They have never had a board, so he hasn't been accountable. He has a board and he meets with his business community, but he hasn't been accountable to the people. So I do have a problem when people are appointed or selected instead of being elected. And I know people say it doesn't make it a difference because we done had appointed and we done had elected and people did wrong, but I think that's the heart of the people. One thing for sure, if we elect them and we make a mistake when we elect someone, no different from when we hire somebody, it's easy to get rid of them. Correct. But it's harder to get rid of them when one person is making that decision. But when you have a power of people getting in and making that decision, it's a lot easier to let someone go when people are making that decision than one person.
And Bill?
Okay. Oh, OT, I'm not sure your question, but let me hear it one more time.
My question is, what are your thoughts on how the CEO is being selected and not elected by the people?
Correct. I agree with my sister Queen. I don't believe, I came up through the system when the system again had elected superintendent and other elected school board members who again appointed the superintendent. Again, the situation that we actually have was a situation where our elected officials actually bamboozled us and they took away our ability to select a board, and that board select a superintendent. I am for restoring again the school board that is all elected school board. That school board appoints a superintendent. That superintendent again reports to the board. There's more accountability. There's more transparency. There's more input and direct input from the constituents. In other words, now you got so many different levels before a constituent concerns are heard. But when you have a school board member that again oversees the superintendent, then you actually have more of a direct access, more accountability, and more ability to again to get things done.
All right, thank you, Mr. OT.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so back to you, Belinda. I'm sorry. When
That's
the phones
okay.
ring out, people hang up and they be like, "You're going to talk to get them."
And you know, I'm a servant by far. I just believe the customers, and you know, we work for Verizon together. Customers come first. So if someone is calling in, I know you guys' time is valuable. So we want the calls, and I don't mind being put on hold for the consumers or our citizens. But
My viewers.
Yes, Latasha viewers, your girl
Exactly.
Latasha. Well, as I was saying, I'm born and raised right here. Went to Northwestern High School. I graduated class of '80, Wildcat. But guess what? I live right by Walker Mill on Central High School.
Okay, all right.
But I have 3 kids of my own, 9 stepchildren, 11 foster guardianship, 1 who's graduating this year also.
Okay.
So I have 2 more who will still be left at Central High School. I really believe that, to be honest, that I never realized until lately, God has really been working with me, that this is His desire for me. I believe one of the reasons why I really pushed the run now, I see so many things going on in the county. I've been a servant. I've been a community activist. I'm out here. I've been serving you for 4 years on a Democrat Central Committee. It's not about the pay because that's not a paid position, but I do it because that's the heart of me. I am a servant, so I do it because I love. But then I see a problem what's going on with our babies. I'm hearing my citizens complain. I know they need someone who's going to stand up, who's going to speak out, who's going to fight. That's me. That's one of the reasons why I'm running, because I will do that. I will stand up, and we'll be realistic. The problem didn't just start with this CEO.
Correct.
It's been going on for years. My daughter graduated in 2003, and then in 2005 back then, my oldest kids graduated. And she went to Bowie. And before she went to Bowie, she had to take some intermediate classes, some media class. My nephew had to do the same thing. They graduated from 2 different schools. She graduated from Central, and he graduated from Lago, I believe it was somewhere. But they had problems. Both of them had to take some classes. So it's been going on for a while. So it started then hearing from the parents with issues.
Correct.
But for somehow we let it be swept under the rug, because I remember then being part of PTSA.
Correct.
I've been PTSA forever. I was on the county council of PTSA. And I remember us complaining back then. You know, why should my daughter, she graduated with a diploma, and now you have to take these classes. The parents were complaining. They were upset that, that their kids would have to take these classes and they wasn't getting credit. So it started a while. And somehow we kind of got away from that. So the issues we have, and it didn't just start it. But one thing for sure, when I get elected, it will stop. We must stop this. We got to make sure that we are educating our children and giving them a quality education. Every child must be given a fair and a quality education, no matter what. You know, we cannot say no child left behind and we leaving kids behind. We can't do that. It doesn't make any sense.
So Belinda spoke to her being on PCSA boards. What's your experience, and how often have you been a member? Have you served on the board? If so, what positions?
Well, you know, I've been very active in our community for years. Again, back when I was in high school, I actually was a student leader. I was a student government representative. I worked with Prince George's Regional Association of Student Government. And even that time, I did two things. One was I was a page in Annapolis, alternate page in Annapolis. And then the second thing that also I was a lobbying chairperson on behalf of the students at that time to the Board of Education. And you're right, Belinda, that it didn't start just yesterday. Back then, I remember us going to board meetings back then and talking about needing more funding and showing books or having books, and that actually the spines were falling out. Since then, again, I've pastored a church in the local community. I've dealt with things from the governor all the way down to the school board, and all in between. I've dealt with situations with from the county executive office, also from the state's attorney's office. So I've been very active in the community, not only representing myself, representing the congregation, not only representing the congregation, but representing the community. The reason that school is so important to me, again, for over 15 years, I've also been in education. I've been a teacher. I've been an administrator. I've worked both in high school. I worked in Duval High School, and then also worked in the District of Columbia. So even today, I'm still a teacher. So I bring a unique perspective to the board, because here we have a board, education board, but most of them, or many of them, don't have any education experience. When you start talking about the park, they think you're talking about Nationals game instead of a state assessment.
Let me interrupt him. That's one. Look, okay, Latasha, here we go.
I got some questions in the chat. I'm gonna let y'all play a little bit.
This is one of the biggest problems I have with a lot of our elected officials, not just the school board. Okay, so let me let you know that I believe not just talking about it, being about it. So I substitute teachers, and I did that in the school system. Okay. So I wanted to see what in the world was going on. Why they having problems with these rude kids? And yes, they rude. Yes, your kids cuss. Yes, your kids do this. I was there. I saw it. But one of the biggest issues I have, and it's no offense, I know we do need to train, and I don't have a problem. We do need to train some of our younger people, and being a diverse society, we need all types of people. Okay. But what I have a problem in diversity is we got elected officials from school board, from delegates, from county executives who don't really have experience. When I say that, that means, how you going to speak for me when you really never had the issues that I had, where you had to work for, thank God for Verizon, a union company. When you sick and you dealing with a company who want to lay you off just because you sick and you can't be there, how are you going to speak up for me? How is it as if I'm a parent and I'm getting a call from a teacher and something is going on with my child at school, but if I leave, I'm going to lose my job? How are you going to speak for me? How are we going to really actually represent the parents who need help? We living in a different society now. How are you going to speak for the people who's barely making it, who's working 2 and 3 jobs, and the kids at home taking care of themselves or taking care of their little sisters and brothers, barely have food because parents have to think, okay, do I pay this bill and get the electrical light come up, or do I feed my kids? Okay, I've been there. I've done it. I have so much of life experience, and that's what makes a difference. Mm-hmm. So when I run, I will be speaking up, and I will be standing up for everybody, because I have that diversity. I can speak up for the disabled because I am disabled. I can speak up for the parents because I am a parent. I am a grandparent. I can speak up for the ones who's working because I've been there. Know what it is when I had to choose between my job or worrying about my kids. I've been there. A lot of issues. I know what it takes to run a household, and you have to worry about your household. So I've been there and done that. We got a call.
Okay.
Hanging with your girl Tasha. Who do I have calling in, and where are you calling from?
This is Derek from Charles County.
Hi, Derek. Hi, you have a question for our candidates?
Yes, because I have several teachers that I know, former colleagues that work in Prince George's County, and as well as my wife. What is your position? And basically, let me go back. I'm sorry. I guess with the teachers, lack of step increases or their lack of. What is your position on teachers working, jobs during contract hours or outside contract hours to make ends meet?
Well, that's horrible. Let me say that. as an educator, as a teacher, I understand. Again, I have a master's degree, and many of our colleagues have advanced degrees, and the mere fact that we talk about education first, and but yet we're paying them pennies is just ludicrous. For somebody told me a long time, when we were looking at something, somebody said, "Hey, man, you got champagne taste but beer money." I use that to say, as it relates to education, we talk about education first, but we pay our teachers peanuts. We pay them peanuts. In other words, if they are first, then they need to be able to be paid like they're first. That's why we don't get quality educators. A lot of people say, well, they should want to do it from their heart. Yeah, we want to do it from our heart, but they also deserve a fair day's pay for a fair day's labor. And when you stand before 100 kids each day, you got to come out with something fresh each day. You got to make sure that you're studying and understand the subject matter each day. Then after you deal with the subject matter, you got to deal with their personalities. You got to deal with the parents' personalities. You got to deal with administration. You got to deal with continual research. You got all of these things that you're dealing with, and then to come home and you don't have enough money to make ends meet. You cannot tell me that a $2 billion corporation and that you can't afford to pay our educators more. Nationally, and more specifically within this county, we need to give our teachers more.
And let me just add to that. I was endorsed by Prince George's County Education Association, and I'm proud to be endorsed by them as a union person. And so to answer your question, I have a big problem with that. I was on a union with your girl, Tasha. I was a union student. And let me tell you, it's been many days that we fought for a lot. And I just think they deserve the raise. When I looked and see some of our teachers are still making 40, 60, I retired in 2008. And when I retired, I was making $80,000 then back then. Come on, you guys. Really, how do we...
In 2008.
In 2008.
So that's 10 years ago.
Right.
We still got educators making $40,000, $50,000.
Yes.
I just want you to repeat that.
Trust me. So I have a problem with that. I really do. And not only that, and I tell people all the time, when we really think to ourselves, who has made the most impact on you in life? And let's be realistic. Our parents may have been the little teachers, but it's been an educator, whether it was a Sunday school teacher, whether it was a teacher, 4-H leader, Boy Scout, but it was someone who taught you something. It was someone who pushed you along the way. When I went to Northwestern High School, some of the things I've learned, it was my teacher. I can say it was actually my teacher who pushed me to do accounting, and I still do accounting and taxes today. When I was at Bethune Junior High School, it was my teacher, Ms. Wood, who pushed me to type when I didn't want to type. It was a teacher. So I have all of these experience from communication. Even when I went to college straight, it was my teacher who pushed me to write, and I have a book out. And he always say, "You very creative," and I need to write some more books. I do haven't written just some person, but it was a teacher who has pushed me to do certain things, and we don't want to pay our teachers. And the biggest thing, let's hit the issue is, the biggest issue is, why all these people getting money up top when they just administrative, to be honest, but they're not really teaching. They're not spending time with the kids. We have to change that and invest into our teachers, our educators, and let the teachers teach.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have OT. Thank you, Derek. So we have OT, and he said that that's because all the money was going to Maxwell. Mm-hmm. We have a comment also saying, Belinda, let Don finish what he is saying, but both of y'all cut each other off, so I'm not going to say nothing to neither one of them. There was a question.
It's our passion, right, Don?
All right.
There was a question to clarify, because someone pointed out that you have a lot of passion. They want to know where you're representing. So for the audience who's turning in right now, state again, you were doing district.
I'm District 6, School Board District 6, and it runs from Sheriff Road over to Ritchie Road, from Marlboro Pike down to Upper Marlboro. So you have a little bit of Capitol Heights, District Heights, Sea Pleasant, still a little bit of Cedar Heights. We have some of District Heights in here. We have
Cliff Note version.
So Cliff Note is from Sheriff Road all the way over to Ritchie Road, from Marlboro Pike going down to Watkins Park, and then a little bit of 450, and that's District 6.
Okay, and I in District 9 starts where the Mary Steakhouse building is on Pennsylvania Avenue, where the old Mary Steakhouse,
okay,
right there
I'm about
in Pennsylvania.
to say it's not there no more.
And it goes again all the way down to the Sasser Administration Building, and it goes all the way through Croom. It goes all the way through Eagle Harbor. It goes all the way through Brandywine, Clinton, Akakeek, as well as a little bit of Fort Washington and some of Clinton.
We got somebody that said go Wildcats. I don't know which one of y'all that applies
He's
to.
a Wildcat. Can I get some Falcons out there? Some Central Falcons.
My kids were Falcons.
Okay, Falcons. Give me a high five on that. All right. But even more than
Hold on, we got questions that we got to get out here. Okay, that one called in, but it was another question. How do you feel about the current curriculum? Too many tests, strategies before. Hold on, I got to get it to open up.
As you getting it to open
How
up.
do you feel about the current curriculum? Too many tests and strategies before they even get the first strategy down. So it's teaching to the test and not teaching to them, and they move them through quickly. What is your position on the current curriculum?
Well, again, let me say this. First of all, that I've taught on with several curriculums, and the county curriculum. I've used that, whether it's Huflin and Mifflin, whether it's hardcore. When I taught it in the county, it was hardcore. Now we're using another
Common
one.
Core.
But the bottom line is that, let me say this: curriculum is one thing, but the real truth of the matter is that curriculum doesn't teach. Teachers teach. And the most important jewel that we can have is a good teacher who can take the tools of curriculum and be able to utilize it. So our problem is not necessarily a curriculum problem. Honestly, I believe they spend too much money on curriculum. They really need to narrow and streamline that curriculum, and then give more money back to the teachers and allow them to be able to function and operate even greater. But as it relates to teaching the test, I do believe that we need certain data information, because data actually matters. That's what they utilize the test. I don't believe that we need to teach to a particular test. We need to be able to teach and make sure all of the people again pass the test, and therefore you get an accurate assessment as it relates to data. So in education, you're going to have tests, you're going to have curriculum, but the most important is the teachers, and we need to make sure that we continue to utilize that money, not continue to waste it, but utilize it with the teachers and for the teachers, so they can actually perform and do what they're called to do.
Okay, Belinda.
Okay, and so I want to say is, to that question, it is a big issue with testing. I hear it all the time. But one of the biggest issues is we don't invest in the schools. I mean, we realize, that everybody's using cell phones, and technology is not invested. Every school is not invested. You say you graduated in '86, I believe. That's
correct.
What you said. And have you been in Central High School lately? It's still like it was in '86. The only thing they did was gave it a facelift. Right. So let's be realistic. Correct. You still have no computers. It's still not updated. When I grew up, I used to watch the Jetsons. I'm telling my age. And by now, we should have a Jetson society where when kids go in, they have this computer, everything plugged in. We really got to be more up to date in Prince George's County, and not only the state of Maryland, and United States as a whole. The problem is technology. Our technology is not updated. Mm-hmm. Our kids are social media. They're using a lot of technology, but they don't have that technology in school. We have a big problem with that. Tests, and you're right, tests are really not important, because when they apply for some of the jobs, how many of the jobs really use them tests, to be honest, okay? So we need to go back. Common Core may work, and let's remember, we're in a diverse society. Common Core may work for some students, but some kids need phonics. And in today's society, one of the biggest issues we have is mental health. Let's be realistic, okay? I don't know what you guys done, and I have to say for some of you parents, but we got a lot going on. Our kids are so destroyed because of social media, because domestic violence, and because what's going on. So now our kids are mentally suffering. They're suffering with mental health. So we have a lot of ADHD, a lot of bipolars, a lot of kids who's just stressed out because they've seen things as children. And as remember, I said put kids first. So we have kids who've been forced to be adult. They're being forced to take care of sisters and brothers. They're being forced to go home by themselves and cook their own food. We'll have kids who are being forced to see things or do things that kids shouldn't even see. We have kids at one time when I was a child, and if adults were talking, we were like, go in the room. Adults are talking.
Right.
Now kids are seeing and hearing everything. They know what's going on, a lot. So we're putting kids and we're forcing them to be adults at a young age. So we have a lot going on. So we got to actually address all of that too in the school system. So we got to address the mental health. We got to address the stop doing all this testing and test to the children who need the test. If we actually maybe change the way the testing is done, to me, let's test and see if there's any progress, and see if they have any growth in what they're learning. So if testing is not going to help them, because what I found out, every child is not good at tests. So just because you may not be good at a test doesn't mean you ain't good. Everybody we live in a diverse society. Because you may decide to go to college. I went to trade school. Went to college, decided it wasn't for me. I went to trade school. And I worked at Verizon for 28 years from going to trade school. Some people go in the military.
Correct.
Some people take a trade, and some people just want to go to work. But
Correct.
just make sure that they are prepared for whatever they decide to do, that they go out here and they be able to make and they be independent livers. And I stress that, independent livers, because I'm sick of hearing my citizens say, my children can't get a job. It doesn't make any sense. They shouldn't have to live with their parents. And in all the reality, teachers are making $40,000 a year. Some of them, that doesn't make any sense. We have kids out here working, only making apartment. You have to make $32,000 a year to get an apartment. These kids can't even get an apartment without sharing. Come on, y'all. Society has. Go ahead, Don.
Well, I think
Okay,
Belinda.
hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Yes,
we
ma'am.
have a question to make sure that you, Launchmont Avenue, is that your district, Belinda?
Launchmont is on the other side of me. I represent you now on the Democrat Center Committee, but no, you cannot vote for me on Launchmont. But
Okay.
that's
Okay.
okay. But
What's the question?
let me just say this.
Is Launchmont her district?
Okay.
Launchmont may not be my district, but you know someone on the other side of Marlboro Park. And I say to you guys, it doesn't matter. You know, he's all the way in District 9. We need to be concerned about who's running no matter what district. Because when we get on that board together, it's going to take both of our votes. No matter whether I'm from 6 or 9, it's going to take all of our votes to work together. And if we don't get people on here with the passion who care about our babies, we're going to be in trouble. So I need more people like me on the board so we can take care of you guys and we can stand up and speak out for our babies.
But Belinda, you're saying something that's very important that I just want to say. Is just like we can hook up right now and say, listen, we're our products of change. And I want you to hear this. The people that are in my district, and you know people over in Belinda's district, please spread it on social media, vote for her. Those that's in her district, that know people over in my district, then spread it on social media. Why? Because it takes us to come together. See, the way the school board is that there are 15 representatives. And right now, what's happening with our school board right now is that those 15 are so divided that nothing's getting done. There's so much chaos is going on. There's so much infighting is going on. And guess what? You get I guess it all plays out on the news. But see, one of the things that I bring to the table, and I'm sure the sister Belinda brings to the table, is that we are willing to work together.
Right.
We're willing, I got enough maturity, I got enough wisdom to understand that I need her. And when we work together, then guess what? Then we can really make a change in the system.
It's together we can make a difference. And together mean us, it means you also, which is very important. And one of the biggest issues we talked about question, people always say, well, what about bringing the community, the parents? What involvement do you want to have? I hear on the community, parents have issues. They don't feel like the school system in partnership with them. They feel like they're not wanted in the schools. Even some of the nonprofits and business, they've been trying to partnership. We got to get away from that. It takes a village to raise our children. It will always take a village. That means if people are willing to come and help and invest, then we need them to come and help, because we got to remember we're living in a society where parents have to work. Now it's taking 2 or 3 parents. They have to work. So it takes that village. It takes all of us, the neighbors, the nosy neighbors, the good neighbors. It takes all of us to look out and take care of our babies.
Right. Now let's talk specifically, as you said, Belinda, and this is very good. One of the things that has happened and why our school system is not flourishing as well as it can is that we leave so much money on the table. I'm not talking about dollars and cents, although dollars and cents is a situation. But guess what? The difference between our system and some of those other systems, some of them start with the M over in the other county, is that businesses are involved in the school, community people are involved in the school, and they are welcome in the school. And there's a way of facilitating their whatever attributes or whatever talents they can bring. They're welcome. They're actually employed in working in the system. In Prince George's County, we need that. Several years ago, I don't know if you remember, when each school or many of the schools had people, they had parent workers, they had these liaisons, and because of budget situations, they cut them out. But those people were so important to the school. One of the things that I will propose is that we need those liaisons. In other words, we can't expect the teachers to go out into the community. They already got their hands full. We can't expect the principal. They're already, again, managing the day-to-day operations of the school and trying to educate. But we need to put people in the schools that can bring the community in the school, because when you have the community to the school, you bring resources to the school. You taking the resources outside, bringing them in, and allowing them to impact our school in a better way. Many people, and when they get in a better way, again, guess what? Some of the dollars that we're using, they can, again, go back to the teachers.
I'm stopping you guys
Go ahead.
right there. Your girl Tasha can stop because we have
she can.
questions.
Yes, ma'am.
to
Yes,
ask.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It's
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Because I put y'all pictures up on in some groups and they had questions for you.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Yes,
now
ma'am.
although y'all talked about some of the issues here, from each one of you,
Okay.
what do you find to be the biggest challenge facing PG County schools right now, and how do you plan to fix it?
Okay.
You want me to go first? Okay, one of the biggest challenge right now is facing Prince George's County is being transparent. And finding a quality CEO, because one of the things I find out is that it seems like we're not honest with people when we go out and search. And I know you hear people say all the time, well, you know, had CEOs and you keep changing, it doesn't look good, and it really doesn't look good. But the problem is we haven't had anybody who really have the passion to want to put our babies first. It seems like it's always been about the dollar. Enough of that. You really got to have the passion. I think that's going to be one of our biggest challenges, finding a CEO who really care about Prince George's County, who's transparent, who not only talks to the parents, who reach out to the community and nonprofits, who works with the Teachers Association, and then, you know, which is very important is, you know, work with the community leaders. So that, to me, is going to be the biggest challenge for us, is to find a CEO that's going to do that. But the biggest problem is the county executive choose the CEO. So we got to make sure we get that right county executive.
Right.
So that's her one. What's your one, and
Well-
how are you going to fix it?
Well, again, I'm a believer of leadership, and not only assistant leadership as it relates to the CEO, but really our problem is the leadership as it relates to the board as it exists right now. There's too much infighting, and what happens at the head always flows down to the bottom. So you're wondering why our children, again, are confused, because there's confusion at the top. The truth of the matter is that I believe that the system really needs to be torn down completely and built up again, addressing many of those issues. But you gotta start with the head. The way vis-a-vis our present situation with the board. Being able to bring them together, them understanding that, again, that we need each other, that we need to work together, not about you, not about me, not about your district, not about my district. It's about Prince George's County and the children all together and bringing everybody together. And that's what I'm offering. Tasha, I have enough experience to be a unifier. I have enough experience to be
Okay,
able
so
to bring
that
them
goes
together.
to the next question, and since you're going into the answer of the next question,
Okay.
what do you bring to the table that makes you qualified to hold a position?
Okay. First and foremost, again, I got 23 years of education experience. I'm not talking education because it's the order of the day. I've lived it. I've worked in the schools. I've taught. I've been an administrator as well as an operator. So I've done all facets of as it relates to school, from coaching to all types of things, after school meeting, dealing with the children, and a parent, as well as a person that have come out through the Prince George's County School System.
An
So
active parent.
An active parent, excuse me, an active parent. So I bring that to the table. As it relates to the board, as it relates to why I'm running for the board, is because, again, I was saying earlier that
You
we got.
answered that question earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You answered that question earlier. Let me get her to say, what are you bringing to the table that makes you qualified for the position?
What I'm bringing to the table is years of experience and years of training for this position. I am a communicator by far. I am a critical thinker. I think outside of the box. And I'm also a listener. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I watch and pray. And I really feel like this is the season for change. I bring wisdom to the table. I bring to the table where I am a leader, not a follower for real. And I am very transparent. Anybody know me, I believe in educating, engaging, and power. So I will listen to my citizens.
That's right.
And most of all, bring to the table my union experience. So I know what it is to be a parent. I know what it is to be working. I know what it is to be thinking about your household, but wanting to do your job because you have the passion to do your job. People don't just they don't, no matter what they do, whether they're a teacher, whether they're a bus driver, no matter what position they're working for, they don't just go to their career every day just to be going. They go there because they want their job. They want to succeed. They want to do years there, but they also want to be paid a quality pay.
That's
and
correct.
I'm the right person who understands and know what it's like to be that. And I believe that I owe it. It's not that I have to, because I can retire. Natasha tell you, I live good, really tired. But I believe that it's my job, and God is sending me. I owe it, just like people before us owe it to die for something to change. I believe that it's my job right now in my season to get out here and fight for you, for your kids, for my grandkids, and fight for that change. And I am the person to do that.
All right.
Okay, next question. What are your thoughts about the casino money that was supposed to be going to our schools?
Well, you want to go? Or you
Well,
want
let me start. First and foremost, again, we've been hoodwinked. We've been bamboozled. The way that it actually is working right now is that they took this casino money, they promised it as it relates to education, and they said that we were going to get certain amount of monies and those things. They have taken the money, they put it in education, but the money that was supposed to go to education has gone through the back door. Again, that's why I say that the people in Annapolis presently should be fired. The governor should be fired. We're talking about all of these things wrong with that system, but they promised it, and they have not delivered on those promises. Now, this coming November, there's a legislation that's being positioned, that's going to be on the ballot. This talks about a lockbox. Please vote for that lockbox. What that lockbox says is that all of the revenue from the casino must go to education. And once is again a referendum on the ballot that all of us vote for, then guess what? It's etched in stone at that particular point, and no administration can actually change it. So we need to make sure that we hold our people accountable. That money is needed. We're talking about we don't have enough money. That money is needed right now to pay our teachers. That money is needed, paint peeling. I was working at Duval High School. I walked into school, paint peeling off the doors, and we can't even paint the buildings.
Can they get a piece of toilet paper that they can wipe their butt with that don't break up?
All right,
Get some soap.
It's
Can the teachers
crazy.
have some paper?
And one of the schools in my district, Clinton Grove Elementary, is one of the oldest buildings. It looked like a haunted house, and they're still educating people in these facilities. It is all because money that's needed and is promised. If education is your priority first, we shouldn't have our kids in such awful facilities.
And he said if. It's not an if. Education should be your first priority.
It should. Yes, it should.
And let me say this. I don't hold anything back. It should be every last one of us. Knowledge is power. Growing up, we always heard be all you can be. Knowledge is powerful, you guys. It is very important that we educate our children. It is very important. And I know Tasha asked the question about the casino money. Let's be realistic, guys. I tried to fight against some of that, and it's because, I knew what happened with the lottery. And the same thing with the 2 at-large council people. I really tried to fight against that, but you guys voted for it, so it's what you want. So when we have to remember that when things come on the ballot, let's not always fall for everything that everybody tell us, because they really are not creative thinkers. They should have really thought about, because the money does go, not all of it for education, but the problem is it doesn't go for Prince George's County. You can bet the casino, the horseshoe, up there in Baltimore, you can bet live up there in Anne Arundel County. They make sure that all their money go to Anne Arundel County. But when we up here in Prince George's County, when we got MGM, guess what? It doesn't go to all us. It's divided among the whole state of Maryland. Why is that? Because our elected leaders apparently wasn't smart enough to make sure that it went to Prince George's County. Enough is enough. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be honest. When you guys who are out there watching TV, and I know y'all watching Scandals and half not, that is real. It is real right here in Prince George's County. Enough is enough. We got to vote for change. We got to get these people out here who don't have the passion, who don't have the heart, who do not have humble spirits, who do not care about our people, because they really don't care about their people. It is about the dollar, but it's about putting dollars in their pockets. It's about helping them. So we gotta make sure we vote for change. And when you talk about casinos and developers and stuff like that, they don't even live here in Prince George's County. They bring them jobs from everywhere else. They're not not giving our babies them jobs, and if they are, they the ones paying $10 an hour. What can they do? They can't even get an apartment with $10 an hour.
Next question.
Can I say one on this one thing?
You-
But we're talking about change.
You got an
60
actual
seconds.
minute.
Okay.
I'm counting too.
Okay, we're talking about change. There's no way that you can have change, but you vote the same people in. You and I are running against incumbents. So therefore, people, we're talking about changing, then guess what? You got to change who you vote and who you put into office. So I say vote for Belinda for District 6, vote for Don Massey for District 9.
Oh, you're messing up the microphone. Somebody calling you. Okay, next question. What can you do to combat shootings in the school system?
Woo, that's a big one. One of the big things is we gotta deal with the mental health and the bad thinking in the school system. I know a lot of money was put in this with the new bills through the new when they just came from Annapolis, and the money is supposed to go for security. And I don't know how it's going to be decided. I guess the new board of education, whoever's going to get in there, is going to hopefully be able to decide, or the new CEO. It's been a lot of creative ways and thinkings that people have actually put down the line, but how they put the money, I'm gonna be honest with you, I really can't say that right now, because I don't really know who's gonna be the next county executive, how he's gonna be. So for me to get up here and lie to you and tell you it's gonna go this way, I'm not gonna do that, because it doesn't go that way. Money has been invested. A lot of money has been put aside for security. The problem is, did they really think about how the security is gonna be done? No, they really haven't thought about that yet. Is the next CEO,
Guns
the next
in the hands
board,
of teachers.
right? It's never
Should it be?
Well,
Oh no.
Well, let me say this.
No guns in the hands of teachers.
To prevent shooting, first of all, it goes beyond the scope of a school. Again, I believe that we should do everything that we can do to protect our babies, meaning I do believe that police officers in the school is good. I do believe that buzzing children in is good. I do believe that having an open society where the administration is free to look in lockers, or free if they have just a suspicion or children, to really in the sense of protecting our kids. I think that all of those things need to be employed. I also think that again that our parents need to be re-engaged as it relates to educating our children and all of those things about some of those misbehaviors that again has eroded that has made life seem to be devalued. All of those things, but you'll need a lot. You're going to need a lot. I'm still in the school system every day, and see what's happening. So that's a uniqueness that I bring to the table, is that I'm there every day. I'm on the ground every day. This education thing is not something that just has started. I've been on the ground for over 23 years. I'm still employed in the school system, and I'm ready and willing and want to bring change.
Okay, guys, when it comes to the bottom line is that parents are not involved.
Correct.
Okay, so we touched on it. You go to PTO, PTA meetings, you hardly see any of them there. You go to children assemblies and honor roll assemblies and all this stuff, and you hardly see anybody there. What, in your platform, what specific actions will you be taking to give parents more decision-making power and to get them more involved?
Right. I think there's one of the things that we really need is that schools we evaluate schools on a lot of different characteristics, and part of our evaluation process should be parent involvement, and therefore we should look at ways our teachers or our administration should look at ways to get parents involved and use not just one approach, but use multi approaches as it relates to getting people involved. I think one of the key positions, and I said it before, is that those parent liaisons that were in the schools, and their primary job was to get the community and parents involved. We need to put those back. We really need to put those positions back into our school system to try to again do whatever needs to be done to get people involved. I think that there's not a one thing that you can say, well, if we do this, parents are going to be involved. I think it's a plethora. There's so many ideas.
Okay, so give me your top two things.
Okay, one is getting the parent person involved. Two is making an appeal that's going to be felt by the particular parent. And three is making a way the parents can be involved at whatever time they have. So let me give you an example. One is that make an appeal that, if your child is involved in this, therefore you should be, or you can be involved in this way. Some parents are working multi-jobs and they can't, but they either through social media nowadays you can be involved, you can catch up on things, they can be invited in the classroom, you can do virtual things. So again, there's so many revolutionary things, but we got to be able to put the PTA, put the parent liaison back. Secondly, we need to, again, make it on a personal basis. And then thirdly, we got to make it as easy as possible for parents to get involved. And hopefully, again, with that we'll see a better turnout as it relates to parent involvement.
Belinda.
Right, and I think one of the important things that the teachers union talked about it all the time is going to community schools. I think community schools are so important. We do have a lot of working parents. We live in a society. We have to work. You don't work, you don't eat, and then you won't have a place to sleep. So it's real. You have to work. So in saying that, parents do eventually have to go to doctors, the dentist, the eye doctor, and all them other things they need. So if we had some of them services right there connected to the schools, right there at the schools, the parents can come and do them things. Even when they take time with their children, they can be right there. They can go to the doctors, whatever, because we have community schools right now. So then they have more time to talk to the teachers. We still got to open a little bit of time for teachers for them to be able to do that. I hear a lot of issues going on now with school max right now. I hear teachers put grades in at the last minute. I know Tasha.
Teachers changing grades.
Teachers changing grades.
I won my appeal today. Trinity now has a C to a B.
Oh God.
Okay. Anyway,
we got to fix some of the things going on, but I think it needs to go a little bit farther with that. One of the things is we need to be creative thinkers. I believe in thinking outside the box. And you guys, I told you that. Remember, I talked about the dressing dates. I believe it should be a way that just like we FaceTime, it should be a way that we should actually see what's going on inside of our student class. Enough of parents saying, "Not my child." We should be able to see what's going on.
So
we should be able to see. I believe we live in a day, and one of the biggest issues I had when someone say, "Oh, you're not the parent, you're the grandparent." It doesn't matter. That's my grandchild. And sometimes maybe parents are not responsible. Sometimes it's grandparents, or it may be neighbors or aunties or whatever raising that child. Whatever family member goes up there and who cares, who want to be the person to say it takes a village, I think they should have that opportunity to be able to, especially if the parents let them have that opportunity to come in and make a difference so that child can advance to that next level. We got to stop blocking parents' participation, and that's one of the things we do. We have parents who want, we have grandparents who want, we have aunties who want, godmothers, foster parents, but we block them from investing in these children.
What is your thoughts on having a direct line to the parents, like creating parent groups to hear directly from them?
I think it's great.
Yeah, I think that's great.
That's thinking outside the box.
Right.
Okay, I had a question that was sent in to me. Are you guys familiar with HB 1107?
That's the one where it's all elected or appointed school board.
Okay, and what is your position on the repeal of HB 1107?
Well, y'all got Belinda's going to talk. One of the biggest issues I have is because we had that opportunity to do it the last 90 days in Annapolis, and our delegates did not even bring it to the floor. And I heard, and when I say the scandals, remember I told you has and has not, and I hear people were threatened, that they brought it to the floor, it was going to be turned down, and then I hear people threatening it. If they brought it to the floor, anything that they try to bring, any bill that they try to bring your delegates, yes, then they're going to turn it down. That stuff is for real, you guys. We got too many people that have power that's controlling Prince George's County, and they're not thinking about us, because my citizens, the people to me who I really care about, they want an all-elected school board.
Correct.
But it is some people in power who don't give a, and I'm not going to say it, about what you want.
But
at all.
Go back a little bit. The way that they got that the hybrid board was done at midnight. In other words, you got to go even before that. We're talking about repealing something, and how hard it is to repeal it. But even the way that it was done, and talking to the delegates, that was done at midnight on a 11 and 45 minute or 59 minute, and so this whole process is just crazy. And again, the only thing that can stop it is you. When you go and you vote for people and you have either affirm them or you deny them. If you continue to vote for the people that's in power now, you're affirming all of the things that's going on now. If you want to see change, you need to vote for Belinda. You need to vote for Don Massey, and we're here for change. And
Don is throwing that plug in it, which is fine, but I'm going to be all honest with you guys. If we don't have people who's going to stand up and who's going to speak out, we're going to have big issues. I mean, I know a lot of people have problems. Some people say, Edward Burroughs, he's causing a lot of problems. He's being transparent. He's telling you for real. He's telling you things that, is going on. And a lot of things we would not have heard worried about it if he didn't bring it to light. So let's be realistic. And then you have some people, well, it could have been brought to certain people, could have said it was done. All them things were done. And the only way really to get it out, to open up people's eyes to see, look, this stuff is going on. Let's be concerned about what's going on. It's unfortunately he had to go that way. We are not living in old days. It will be no longer things will be swept in the rug. We have a different generations. We have taught our children to tell if somebody touched them, tell if somebody hit them. Well, they telling. Okay, so you have a problem because you taught them to tell, and they telling. Stop doing things wrong. You are supposed to be an example, and you're not being good examples. We have too many leaders that are not examples for the next generation. They're not even thinking about the next generations, and we need to get them out of office. I challenge all of you. I know Don keeps saying to vote for me here, but I challenge all of you. Let's make a difference. Let's get out and tell them that no longer will your vote be going for people who really don't care about you. Vote for people who care about Prince George's County. Vote for people who care about the next generation. Vote for people who care about investing inside the school. Not money going into people's pocket who living in big houses. No. Invest inside them schools where your kids are going to and there's roaches crawling over and they eating their poor food. And when I was in school, lunch was good. When I see the lunches my kids eat now, I'm ashamed. And y'all, I am ashamed that we're giving that. I am ashamed of the desks they have. I'm ashamed of the fact that we still have chalkboards and we still have blinds. I am ashamed of the schools in Prince George's County, and you ought to be ashamed too.
Exactly. Listen, we got to do better. We can do better. We must do better. And it's really up to you to make sure that we do better.
Okay, what can be done to ensure that our students are graduating with the knowledge and the skills that they need to be college and or career ready?
Okay. Well, again, there's several things. That's just not a one question answer. But first of all, we need to make sure that our teachers are well taken care of, then the teachers are able to teach. All right. Then secondly, one of the things that I wanted to address is our student code of conduct. You got so many times you have children that's disrupting classes, that are doing things that are hindering or impacting other children from learning. So we got to put some teeth to that. We got to really deal with that situation because there are people that are graduating that are not career ready and not college ready. Then we got to deal with the size. 30. When I was teaching in Duval High School, I had an algebra class that had 36. 38 different children in my class. And again, I don't care how gifted teacher you are, those are too many personalities. Those are too many issues that you have to deal with. So class sizes is again preventing our children from being career ready and college ready, career ready or college ready. The other thing is, again, I don't think it's one size fits all. I think that those trades, I remember coming up, do you remember back having all of the cosmetology, you have all of these different programs that were actually in school, and those things need to be put back into the school system again, so these kids can again do what needs to be done. So there's a lot of things. I have so many ideas, but I'm gonna allow Belinda to talk for a moment.
Let me say that you have a comment that says we can run the whole PG County on Belinda's energy.
All right.
Bless you.
All right.
So I had to read. I'm running to put kids first for a change, and one part of my putting kids first, FIRST, is to raise student teachers, but also to invest in innovative teaching technology and strategies. So I want to make sure I said that the future generation is that we actually really start to invest in innovative teaching technology and strategies. This generation is not living like us with the textbooks the old way. They're not using all the right computers. Technology is everything. If we're not investing in that, then we're failing our children. We're failing our generation. We got to invest in our babies, and we got to start it at the elementary level, okay? Because that's when they're learning. It's my 5-year-old grandbaby that can show me how to Snapchat because I haven't got it. The kids have taught me Instagram and Twitter, but I'm still a little slow with that. But it's my 5-year-old that will put it on there. These kids are so smart and so intelligent at a young age, so we have to invest, and it is for us to invest in it. So we have to invest in innovative technologies and programs so that they can succeed. And yes, you said it. Everybody is not college ready, but some of them are career ready with the trades. We got to let unions come back in and do some of these trades. I hear a lot of unions are starving to do the plumbing, the heating and air conditioning, or the mechanics. Come on, I need somebody to fix my car.
And
I
they
need
make good money. These trades make good money.
My lovely people.
Yes.
Time is counting down, and
Oh, my gosh.
we still have some other questions
Yes,
here.
let's get 'em
You
real
are
quick.
more than welcome to come back again, and I don't think it wouldn't be right if we don't point out that our elections are on June 26th, guys. And remember, you do have early voting also going from June 14th to June 21st. Now, we got 2 minutes.
Okay.
But we have one more question I want to address, and you need to give short answers.
Short answer.
Give your
Okay.
thoughts on what to teach the students to keep them motivated.
Yes, creative.
Okay. You want to go? You're like, yes.
Yes,
Go.
we can teach students what they need to learn. Math is very important. You got to teach them math. You can teach them English, and you can teach them science. Teach them, but we got to be creative. We got to have hands-on teaching, creative teaching. We have programs for that. We got to invest in supporting the kids at home. We got programs now where they can have that on a computer and they can do these creative things at home. We got to be creative. Our kids have a lot of energy. You guys say I have energy. My kids got a lot of energy too, So they have energy. So we got to be creative. You guys, come on, you guys. Y'all on your phone. I see y'all all the time, and I'm going to say this real quick. You're playing them little games. Well, guess what? We can have educational games. I keep saying we need an educational driving class for these kids so they can stop Ubering and learn how to drive. But we got to be creative in teaching them.
Right. And what you're saying, Belinda, is exactly what we're saying. Even in the classroom today, we moved away just from a textbook situation, and we're doing multimedia classes. And what I'm saying is that we got to employ more than just the traditional way, and we got to use all of the technology. We play games in my math class, whether it's Kahoots or different types of games that get people involved that will still know the same situation. These are, everything is instant moments, so we got to be able to use that technology, not starve it, but utilize it, embrace it for our kids.
So, guys, usually I allow my candidates that come on to actually share their upcoming events, but they're not going to have time to do that because it is actually 6:30. Make sure you go to their website real quick.
Massey4BOE.com.
BelindaQueen.com.
See you guys next Monday. Hanging with your girl Tasha. We're coming back to Charles County with look for
Facebook page.
District 3, Carolyn Washington. I'm sorry, guys. They done talk too much. I think it's Carolyn Washington. That'll be on here next week, guys. So see y'all next Monday at 5:30 Eastern. Thank you for tuning in to Hanging with Your Girl
Thank you for hanging with
Tasha.
us.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Twist. It's a sexy lady who walks around without being shady, who knows her values, who's gone through trials. Her smiles are captured from mouth to mouth. It's not the size of her thighs she worries about, but the pride she thrives to keep that drive. That cinnamon twist. That cinnamon twist.